This tutorial will answer the what, why, when, and how questions surrounding the use of encyclopedias in your legal research process. What is a legal encyclopedia? Why and when might you use one? And how to use one. It was designed with the WRAP practice set on encyclopedias in mind and should assist you in preparing your answers to your practice sets on encyclopedias. A legal encyclopedia is, in many respects, like a non-legal encyclopedia, a usually multi-volume set of books giving brief narratives of numerous topics. These topics are alphabetically arranged. It is not evaluative or analytical, rather it gives a down-and-dirty overview of a particular topic. The main encyclopedias used in legal research are Corpus Juris Secundum on the left, or CJS for short, and American Jurisprudence on the right, or AmJur for short. These are both large, multi-volume encyclopedias covering legal issues on a nationwide level. That is, they are not state-specific, although they do contain references to some state-specific case law. You might want to use a legal encyclopedia because it is more authoritative than Wikipedia and it can give more reliable results than a quick Google search. It also provides useful background information and an introduction to several different legal topics. It helps you define legal jargon and gives you the correct terms of art to use, and it gets you started in the world of legal research. It is especially helpful to help you learn how legal topics are arranged, and it may aid you in using other research resources. And it is particularly useful when you don't know much about a certain area of law. It gives you a good basis and background for further research. Additionally, you already know how to use it if you've used non-legal encyclopedias before. Finally, it gives you landmark cases and statutes for further research. The brainstorming or planning stage of legal research is one of the, if not the most important stages. Sit down, take a deep breath, and think about what you want to look for and where you want to look for it. While you're researching, make sure you continue to keep track of these things, the words that you use to search, and the places you want to search for them. Now let's try to actually do some searching in a legal encyclopedia. I'm going to make up a little scenario here in which your sister comes to you because a friend of hers recently received a notice from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service about the friend's immigration status. Your sister can't remember exactly what it said, something about C or D or some letter anyway, and your sister was just wondering if you, as a law student, knew anything about what that meant. Obviously, you know that to be of any serious assistance here, you'd need to know exactly what the notice said. But just to get started, rather than Googling it, because if you Google immigration status CD, you just get way too many hits and you can't necessarily trust the validity of the first few hits, you decide to look it up in the legal encyclopedia at school. The first thing to do is to write down the terms to look up, and in our example here, you might first think of immigration and status. After you've come up with terms to look for, pick an encyclopedia, CJS or AmJur. One isn't necessarily better than the other. You may start with one and then go to the other if you can't find much in the first one you tried. We're going to use CJS in this example. While the terms in the index may be different and the descriptions given by the two encyclopedias will be different, the process of coming up with terms to look up in the index and then finding the main topic in a volume, reading the narrative, and noting the case and statute references is the same. Then you're going to go to the index for your encyclopedia. It should be at the end of the set after the main volumes. There may be other softcover books at the end of the set too, tables of laws and cases for example, but you want the index. In our scenario, you're going to go first to immigration in the index. As you can see, you may have to refine your terms. The index may not use the same words to mean the concepts that you're trying to research. You have to be flexible. It helps to come up with several synonyms during your brainstorming session. You should make notations of what you found when you looked up certain terms. Keep a research log to indicate what you did and what you found there so that you can replicate your search without having to go through the whole process from scratch, or so when somebody asks you, you can tell them exactly what you did and what you found. In this case, the index is telling you to go to aliens in the index rather than immigration for the concept that you're researching. But at this point, you're going to look again in the index. It's not telling you here to pick up the aliens volume of CJS yet. On your research log, you would indicate here that you tried immigration and the index instructed you to use the term aliens instead. Now we're looking at the aliens entry in the index of CJS. It goes on for several pages. One of the great things about an index is that it can help you figure out where your specific topic falls within the larger topic, and it may give you additional ideas of things to look up that you had not thought of when brainstorming. You should add these ideas to your research log or plan. Here, the sub-issue classification of aliens seems to be applicable to your scenario. As you can tell from the index, there are several different classifications noted largely by letters of the alphabet. Note that some of the sub-issues listed here give a bolded reference, while some of them say below or above. The bolded reference, here an aliens followed by a section number, is telling you to go to that topic in the encyclopedia and find that section in that volume. In this case, it's telling you to find the encyclopedia volume containing the topic aliens and then a specific section in that topic. The above or below references are telling you to further search the index within the aliens topic. For example, if you knew that your sister's friend was talking about an M classification, the index here is telling you to go further in the index under aliens to the M's. Here, since you don't know exactly which classification the friend is, and you're mostly looking for a little background information, you decide to look at the Classification Generally topic, which the index says is located at Aliens, Section 4. Now that you know that your main topic is aliens, you can go to that volume of the encyclopedia that contains that topic and pull it off the shelf. At the beginning of every main topic, there will be a table of contents for that topic. This is a screenshot of part of the table of contents for the aliens topic. Like the index, the table of contents can help you see where your subtopic fits in the larger overall topic. In the classification subtopic on the right, you can see not only the different letters representing different classes of aliens, similar to what we saw in the index on the last screen, but you can also see what each classification letter means. Again, this may be helpful to you in finding topics to research that you did not initially think of when you were brainstorming. Going back to our situation, we had decided to first look at the Classification Generally subtopic, Section 4 of Aliens. Here is the screenshot of what we found when we pulled the volume of CJS that contained the Aliens topic, in this case, Volume 3. Here is a close-up on what we saw on the previous screen. As you can see, this is quite general, but it gives you a good, easy-to-understand overview of the topic. From this, you learn that the government has created various different classifications for aliens. In terms of your practice set, this is what you'd be writing down, in your own words, for your legal rule. If your situation were real, you would want to read more about the various classifications and discover from your sister where her friend fit in. Legal encyclopedias give you references to case law and statutes that may be applicable to your topic. You would probably want to read these cases and statutes footnoted in the section of the encyclopedia you were reading, especially if one of the referenced sources were from your jurisdiction. In your research log, you should note the various sources that you want to follow up on. When doing legal research, it's vital to make sure your information is up to date. In most print volumes, legal materials are updated via a pocket part that's inserted into the back of each volume. You will need to look for the same section and the same topic as you were reading from the main bound volume. In this case, Section 4 of the Aliens topic. This update will tell you if there are any major changes in your topic or if there are any additional cases or statutes you might want to look at. This slide shows you the elements needed to cite an encyclopedia entry according to the Blue Book. You can see you need the volume number of the encyclopedia, the name of the encyclopedia, CJS or AMJUR most likely, the topic title that you have used, and that topic title should be underlined, a section symbol and the section number you're referring to, and the copyright year. Here's an example of what the topic we were looking at would look like, and here's an example of what it would look like if you were also citing to the material in the pocket part. Finally, I've included an example of what it would look like if you were citing to AMJUR on LexisNexis. Something to keep in mind is that a legal encyclopedia may not always be the best source for your legal research. It will usually be necessary to go beyond general propositions of law, which is all that an encyclopedia will give you. The cases cited may not be in your jurisdiction, or they may no longer be good law, and you usually must read the cases themselves to see if they actually do apply. And while legal encyclopedias are generally written and edited by attorneys, those attorneys are not necessarily recognized experts in any particular field. Therefore, just as you would probably not cite an encyclopedia in a research paper in undergrad, you would probably not cite an encyclopedia in a legal research paper to a boss or to a judge or to your professor in law school. So, to sum up, the 5 things you're going to want to do for your legal encyclopedias practice sets is come up with terms to look for, browse the index for the encyclopedia that you choose, refining your terms as necessary, find your topic and write down the legal rule, and note cases and statute references that might be applicable to your jurisdiction. Finally, make sure you check for updates in the pocket part. Last but not least, please feel free to contact any of the reference librarians for further assistance in this area. We are here to help you and hope to see you soon.